Okay, so let's just jump right in. I want you to imagine something. Think about your entire Steam library. Yeah, all of it. Elden Ring, Hades 2, you name it. Now, what if you could play those games not on your PC, not even on a Steam Deck, but right there on your phone, or maybe a super lightweight tablet? And look, I'm not talking about that laggy cloud streaming stuff you might have tried. No, I mean running these games natively, directly on the chip that's already inside your device. It sounds wild, right? Well, it turns out Valve has had a secret, decade-long plan to make this a reality.
I know. It sounds pretty much impossible, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. You take a game that was built for a huge, power-hungry desktop PC, and you just run it on your phone? How could that even work without a developer having to completely rewrite the game from the ground up? Well, that is the multi-billion-dollar question, and it's one Valve has been quietly working on for a very long time.
Now, your first thought might be, hey, isn't that just Steam Link? And that's a fair question. But Steam Link is cloud streaming. Your PC at home is doing all the heavy lifting, and it's just beaming the video to your phone. It's cool, for sure, but you know how it is. Your Wi-Fi hiccups for a second, and boom, your game freezes. What Valve is aiming for here is, well, it's way more revolutionary. We're talking about letting the device in your hand actually execute the game's code, turning it into its own tiny, self-contained gaming PC.
So how are they going to roll this out? Well, the delivery vehicle for this whole plan, it's probably not what you're expecting. It's actually Valve's new VR headset, the Steam Frame. Now, if you just saw that and wrote it off as just another niche VR gadget, you'd be missing the real story. The Steam Frame is basically a Trojan horse, and hidden inside is the groundbreaking tech that Valve has been funding for almost a decade. Technology designed to finally separate Steam from the PC, forever.
Okay, so to really get what Valve is going to such crazy lengths for this, we've got to rewind a bit. We need to look at a huge problem they've been trying to solve for over 10 years. It's something they call the porting trap. All right, so here's the core of the problem. Your PC and your phone, they speak completely different languages, like at the deepest hardware level. Your PC's brain, the Intel or AMD chip, it speaks a language called x86. But your phone, your tablet, even your Nintendo Switch, all of those speak a totally different language called ARM. And for decades, this has been a massive wall. If a developer wanted to get their PC game onto a phone, they had no choice but to completely rewrite it. That whole painful process is called porting. And let me tell you, Valve hates this. They really do. According to Pierre Lugrefes, he's one of the key engineers behind the Steam Deck, Valve's whole philosophy is that porting is a trap. He says that work is, and I quote, essentially wasted work. See, Valve doesn't want developers burning time and money just rewriting old games for new gadgets. They want them making new games. So they decided to try the impossible. Instead of changing the game for the hardware, why not make the hardware understand the game? That way, developers don't have to do a thing. And you know, this wasn't some spur-of-the-moment idea. This was a calculated 10-year bet. Valve actually started funding this whole project way back in 2016. They were looking ahead, anticipating that mobile ARM chips would eventually get powerful enough to pull this off. They saw what Apple was doing with their M-series chips and basically said, yep, the future is ARM. And now, this Steam Frame headset running on a mobile Snapdragon chip, well, that's the first real public proof that their bet is about to pay off. So the big question is, how did they actually do it? How in the world does a little mobile chip inside a VR headset run a full-blown Windows PC game? The answer is just brilliant. It's a 3-layer stack of software, all working together perfectly in real time. Okay, so if you've got a Steam Deck, you're already familiar with the first layer, Proton. That's the magic that translates Windows commands into Linux, which is what SteamOS is built on. Then there's the third layer, Leptton, which is a really clever way to run Android VR apps. But the real magic, the absolute key to this entire operation, is that piece in the middle, a bit of software called FX. Think of FX as Valve's answer to Apple's Rosetta 2. It's what's called a dynamic binary translator. Okay, in simple terms, what it does is it takes that x86 hardware language from the PC game and just instantly, on the fly, translates it into the ARM language that the mobile chip can understand. Now, in the past, this kind of translation, you might know it as emulation, has always been really slow. But FX is a whole different beast. The genius of FX is that it's smart because it's kind of lazy, but in the best possible way. See, it only translates the really complex CPU stuff. We're talking game logic, AI calculations, physics, that kind of thing. But The moment the game needs to do the heavy lifting for graphics, like drawing a 3D model or rendering a texture, Fex just gets out of the way. It doesn't touch it. It just passes that job directly to the phone's own powerful GPU. And what does that mean? It means all your graphics are running at full native speed. It's brilliant.
And what's so crucial here is that Phoenix was built from the ground up specifically for gaming. It's all about high performance and, this is the really important part, 100% correctness. That means it can handle all that tricky DRM and anti-cheat software perfectly, which means you're not going to get banned from your favorite multiplayer games. Oh, and the cherry on top? Valve made it open source, so literally anyone can use it. So that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, Leptton. The easiest way to think about it is this. Leptton is for Android what Proton is for Windows. It basically creates a little self-contained bubble to run Android apps. This is huge because it means the thousands of awesome VR games that are already out there for the MetaQuest can just be uploaded to Steam and they'll just work on the Steam frame. No porting needed. Valve is just knocking down every single barrier. Okay, so Valve has built this absolutely incredible technology. But let's be real, the plan here is so much bigger than just one VR headset. So what's the grand strategic vision? What's the endgame? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Steam everywhere. And of course, this leads to the one question that's probably on your mind right now. If this tech works on a Snapdragon chip inside a headset, it's going to work on that same chip inside a phone. So, is Valve about to launch a Steam phone?
The simple answer is probably not. And the reason why is absolutely brilliant. They don't have to. By making Proton and FepX open source, Valve has basically just handed the blueprint over to the entire world for free.
Just think about what this means. Any hardware company, I'm talking Samsung, Asus, Lenovo, you name them, can now build a new ARM-based gaming handheld, or a Steam-powered tablet, or a crazy thin laptop. And if they just use Valve's software stack, the entire Steam library works on it, instantly. See, Valve isn't trying to build one device to rule them all. They're trying to build an entire ecosystem. All right, so let's bring this all back home. Forget the tech for a second. What does this massive shift actually mean for you, the gamer? Well, it means one thing. Your library is finally about to be unleashed.
You know how mobile gaming is right now? It can be super frustrating, right? You often have to buy a stripped-down, lower-quality version of a PC game, and it's usually just loaded with microtransactions. Valve wants to completely kill that model. Their vision is a future where you buy a game once on Steam and you get the full, uncompromised PC experience. And you can play it everywhere, on your PC, your Steam Deck, your VR headset, and yeah, eventually, right on your phone.
And really, that's the ultimate promise here. This is the culmination of a decade of secret work. It's your entire Steam library, completely and totally untethered from the traditional PC. Forever. The future of gaming isn't about being locked to one box under your desk anymore. It's about your library just being there, wherever you want to play.
So with all this technology right on the horizon, ready to just open the floodgates for a whole new generation of devices, there's really only one question left to ask. Are you ready to uninstall all those mobile games and just play your real Steam library instead?